Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about the Catwoman 80th anniversary 100-page super spectacular. But first I want to remind everyone about the giveaway I am doing where you could win the Catwoman of East End Omnibus. The giveaway takes place throughout the month of August and all you have to do to join in is make sure you're subscribed to the channel and comment on any video I post during this time. Each comment is a new chance of winning what is the best Catwoman book out there. I mean, Darwin Cook's art always a classic, Ed Brubaker doing the best Catwoman run, and honestly one of the best comic book runs. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and comment for a chance of winning the Catwoman of East End Omnibus. Okay, now onto the video. With Action Comics 1000 and Detective Comics 1000 being the best-selling issues of 2018 and 2019, DC got the message loud and clear. The people wanted more of these anniversary issues, and of course they were more than happy to oblige. So of course we had Wonder Woman 750, we had Detective Comics 1027, we had Wonder Woman 80th anniversary, we had an anniversary issue for The Flash 750, and even more that I don't own, like Joker got one of these, Robin, Green Arrow and Green Lantern. I think even Aquaman got an anniversary issue. But first, what are these? Well, they're oversized one-shots with 80 to 100 pages collecting 8 to 10 short stories by different creative teams. So here we have Paul Dini with Emanuela Lupacchino, we have Nocenti, we have Tom King with Mikel Janin and Jordie Bellaire, Jeff Parker, we have Liam Sharp, Mindy Newell returning to Catwoman, Chuck Dixon and Kelly Jones, Will Pfeiffer again returning, Ram V and Ed Brubaker. On paper, I was very excited for this one-shot because at the time it seemed like one of the better ones out of these anniversary issues. Of course, starting off with Skin the Cat by Paul Dini. Paul Dini, one of my favorite writers. I grew up with Batman the animated series, so of course he has a special place in my heart. I was very excited for this short story, especially his since the one he did for the Joker anniversary was really good. I loved that. So I start off the issue. Of course, Emanuela Lupacchino's art, absolutely gorgeous, and I have to say, by the end of it, it was kind of meh. So Catwoman here is investigating some different animals that were stolen from the Gotham City Zoo and different places. She arrives at this warehouse where she finds the animals killed and stuffed. We see who actually did it and his plan of doing the same to Selena. It's kind of messed up. So that part of the story, that's really nice. The setup was really nice. My problem is Paul Dini's stories usually have a punchline and I want to say a lesson, that last page, those last panels usually kick you and you remember the story because of those. This one, not so much. The second half of the story is just Catwoman explaining that she knew all along that this guy was behind it, and she set him up, and in the end she actually brings a few animals to get rid of him, and that's it. So again, there's no payoff really. the guy's dead. Okay, there's no real lesson here. It's just this. So yeah, this story, especially since again high expectations from Paul Dini, did not start off all that well. Before moving on to the next story, I do want to point out that between each story, DC had these pinups done by different artists, and we're starting off with one by Bab Star, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, we will see, they're all gorgeous. I really liked what DC did here. Now, the second story, Now You See Me, by Nocenti, with art by Robson Roca. Again, I was excited for this because, I mean, Nocenti, of course, her legendary Daredevil run, her underrated actually. It's legendary in quality, but underrated in terms of people actually talking about it. So I wanted to see what she did with Catwoman, but I actually forgot she had a Catwoman run during the New 52 era, and it wasn't good. And this short story isn't good either. I do want to give a shout out to her idea of using the Batman Returns suit for Catwoman. We do see here another shout out to the movie with the umbrella, and by the end of it, spoiler, but we also see the penguin. The story itself, however, it's not, it's just a mess. I mean, it starts off with Catwoman hiding this little bag. A security guard sees her and goes, we think he goes to steal the bag. He actually starts off telling Catwoman that he wasn't stealing it. He just wanted to grab her attention. By the end, Catwoman just throws him off the apartment building, and the story ends. Again, there's no payoff, there's no lesson here, there's no point actually. I mean, why did this happen? I don't. It was kind of useless. But again, at least we got the callbacks to Batman Returns. Moving on to another awesome pinup by Ty Templeton, of course from the Batman Adventure series, of course being inspired by Batman the Animated Series, and on to our next short story by Tom King. Now, Tom King, of course, a very controversial writer, to say the least. I have a very low opinion of him. Don't worry, I won't spend the whole video bashing him, although I do want that. I do want to do a video on his Batman Catwoman 12-issue series that he actually just got finished, and I will bash him there. But his short story here actually started off great. So Batman is scanning Cat Usolina here, and she's like, it's cancer. No, I'm kidding. It's the Joker gas. No, that can't be. It's cancer. No, it's not. It's cancer. Is it cancer? And just going on and on with this, and Bruce is like, it's not cancer, and just gives her a smile, and she goes full on panic mode because she knows what this means. Of course, we see how Catwoman is pregnant, and we get this funny page. So she's with Batman, they're fighting some guys, and she gets sick, of course. She goes, I'm gonna throw up. And Batman is, I've got a bat bucket. It's just a bucket with a bat on it. and this is a disaster. So I liked these pages, and that's kind of the whole thing with Tom King. He starts off well enough. I mean, even some self humor, you know, on Batman's expense here, it's good. However, the longer he goes on, he just becomes what Tom King is actually, a sad, pathetic, lonely old man, and this whole short story just turns out it's not. Again, we get a lot of bad cat, and it's so pathetic and it's so sad, and we're gonna move on because, again, the first 2 pages here were great. However, Tom King, as always, doesn't know when to stop, and just goes into his full sad, lonely old man routine. Now, the next story I did like. So this is by Jeff Parker with art by Jonathan Case, and it's such a lovely callback to the Batman Adam West TV show. Just look at this. So Catwoman is stealing, or at least wants to steal something when Gotham is invaded by aliens, and it's so crazy. I mean, we've got robots, we've got tentacle monsters, we've got these crazy colors, and of course we've got Catwoman being badass and ultimately saving the day, kicking some alien ass. And in return, the people of Gotham actually ask them not to steal from them, but give their possessions freely, you know. And she's like, well, it's not fun if I'm not stealing them. So she goes off to Europe on a nice girl trip with one of the aliens here. Again, a nice story. The art and colors were very fun, and again, just giving a callback to the fun Adam West TV show. Again, an awesome pinup by Tula Lotai, and another awesome short story by Liam Sharp here. It's very short, hence the name, but it's really great. So Catwoman, of course, during a heist is caught by a security guard, and she just goes through the 9 possibilities of where this instance could take them, and the possibilities go from, well, we'll team up and split the diamonds here, to just them dying, the guard getting brutally murdered, the guard actually shooting Catwoman. Again, 9 options. None of them pan out, because by the end the guard just faints. And that's it. Again, 3 pages, very short story, but awesome, and honestly what these anthologies actually should be. Moving on to another gorgeous pinup by now the late Tim Sale, and the next short story, and what is by far the worst one. So I complained about Nocenti's short story because it was ultimately nonsensical and didn't say anything. This is downright bad. So we get to see this woman having an attack, and we get a flashback to Selina's childhood, where the woman here, of course younger, brings her in, takes care of a little Selina, and explains the Jewish importance of this one artifact, which of course in present day Selina here just steals. Then we get to another scene with Batman talking to Selina. We get a very 80s Frank Miller prostitute era Selina, and we get to see Batman actually paying for her time. And I am not a fan of this. I mean, I do get that this aspect existed for a while, but I mean, even in the 90s, with that series by Joe Duffy and art by Jim Bellaire, we kind of all agreed that we don't talk about this. We might acknowledge its existence, but let's not bring it up ever again. Well, Mindy Newell here not only brings it up, but actually shows Selina working, and it's so gross, especially with this old dude here. I mean, I don't know. We also get, I mean, speaking of that Jewish inheritance, we get this Nazi dude here, again, being the same guy, of course, imagery and psychological stuff, but it's just gross, and I did not like it. For all of it to actually end with Catwoman returning that artifact to the old lady on her dying bed. I don't know. I feel like, okay, so here I get what Mindy Newell wanted to say, you know. I guess it's a heartwarming story, but until we got here, it was super gross, and no, this wasn't the way. By the way, I mentioned Joe Duffy and Jim Bellaire. Here we see great pin-up. I mean, growing up in the 90s, how could you not love this? Yes, it is basically porn. But come on, it's just so beautiful. And speaking of the 90s, our next short story by Chuck Dixon and Kelly Jones. And man, this was a hoot, a full-on trip. Of course, Chuck Dixon, legendary for his 90s Batman stories, but and I did enjoy this one. Kelly Jones, of course, a 90s art, but here I don't know what happened. First of all, of course, 90s art does take a certain kind of style of appreciation, you know. Not everyone enjoys it, but here, man, I mean, there's not a single panel where Catwoman doesn't look off. It's an absolute mess. The story is fun. I mean, Catwoman going into a submarine, yeah, to steal a diamond, but it's actually already been stolen by Clayface here, and we see her trying different options to dispatch him, but again, just look at this. Just look how wrong each and every panel. I mean, Clayface looks great. I mean, very menacing, very scary. But Catwoman, what the hell is this, man? It's just wrong. I'm not gonna even call it bad art, because it's beyond that. It's messed up. A child could draw better than this. Just look at this expression here. This was probably the most fun I've had with any story in this one shot, but not for the right reasons. Again, look at this. How could they possibly publish something like this? Again, all my respect for Chuck Dixon and Kelly Jones. But man, this was not it. And going from this absolute mess, just indescribable, to the 2000s and Darwin Cook's Catwoman. I am probably the best looking Catwoman out there. It just hits you, you know. It's alright, like I said. I mean, damn. Okay, let's do a little recap. So we've had Skin the Cat by Paul Dini. We've had Now You See Me by Nocenti. We've had Elena by Tom King. The Catwoman of Earth by Jeff Parker. We've had that awesome three-page short story, A Cat of Nine Tails by Liam Sharp. We've had A Little Bird by Mindy Newell, and Born to Kill by Chuck Dixon and Kelly Jones. We're moving into the last hurrah of this one shot, and everything from now on will be absolutely great. Starting with this Will Pfeiffer short story. Now, of course, Will Pfeiffer also had a Catwoman run. I don't remember of... no, she was actually after Ed Brubaker's run. She followed Ed Brubaker. Of course, it was tough following such an amazing run, and hers isn't that well remembered and isn't that great, but man, this short story. So we get to see Selena at BatCon, and she doesn't really know why she's there. We get to meet Bruce Wayne here next to a Joker and the Riddler, doing signings, doing a callback to the Quiet or Papa Spank, and Selena is very confused, and it's like, what is going on here? There's, like I said, some fourth wall breaking. Again, we see people in Catwoman costumes coming up to her, asking for her autographs, and again, she doesn't know what is happening. And by the end of this short story, we finally get to see how this was all a dream by this skeleton dude. I don't know who this is. He might be an established Batman rogue, but the short story ends with Catwoman preparing to kick some ass, and it's awesome. Here we get to see Selena in her wedding dress from Batman 50, and from her Joel Jones run. I do recommend you check out my review of that run, which ended with the message will be continued in the Catwoman 80th anniversary one-shot. Well, here we go. This is the beginning of Ram V's run on Catwoman, and we get this short story by Ram V with art by Fernando Blanco, and I mean, I will be doing my next video on Ram V's run, but even from this short story, we'll definitely get to see the quality of his writing, and how well he captures Selena. We also get to see, I mean, this poor car, man. So in the run by Joel Jones, Selena actually got dropped like 4 stories onto this Jaguar and just totaled the car, of course. Well, now she has it back and it breaks again. So of course Selena is left with Maggie, trying to hitch a ride, trying to move on from Via Hermosa, and trying to return to Gotham. Of course, things don't go well, and they're in a bar. Guess what might happen? With Selena drinking, getting drunk in a bar, of course she gets to kick some ass. We also get to see where Ramvi wants to take Maggie and her relationship with Selena, and I mentioned that Joel Jones's run did give us a happy ending for them. Well, this just continues that, and just seeing these two together, just laughing, it's great. I mean, after Ed Brubaker's run, after we saw what Maggie has been through, these panels right here just feel so good. And again, an awesome short story and an awesome start to Ramvi's run, and of course to be continued in Catwoman issue 25. Now, speaking of Ed Brubaker, he gets to close out this one shot, and there could have been no one to do it. The Art of Picking a Lock, written by Ed Brubaker, art, color, and letters by Cameron Stewart. Of course, in the Ed Brubaker original run, Cameron Stewart followed the legendary Darren Cook and really tried to emulate that style, and we get to see that here as well, and I absolutely love this. So in my video of this omnibus, I said that Ed Brubaker's run is why I love comics, and I've gotta be honest, this little story made me tear up a bit, because it just keeps on going. It was like Ed Brubaker had never left Catwoman. He did not miss a beat here. The art itself did not miss a beat. It was such an awesome callback. I mean, here we have Sam Bradley, of course, getting into trouble, Selena going through hell to save him. We have Holly calling him an idiot. We get this panel, which is 100% Sam Bradley. And again, what a way to end this one shot. We've seen how the short stories here were hit or miss. Some were of course better than others, but this was definitely worth it. Just these last two ones by Ramvi, and of course this last one by Ed Brubaker. Awesome stuff, amazing stuff. And again, if you enjoyed this Ed Brubaker run, this was amazing. Again, I'm gonna be honest, it just reading through it, just seeing the art, it honestly made me tear up, and just so wonderful. Okay, and that was it for my video reviewing the Catwoman 80th anniversary 100-page super spectacular. If you enjoyed it, I hope you hit those like and subscribe buttons. I hope you'll check out my previous video of the Catwoman run by Joel Jones, and look forward to my next one tackling Ram V's Catwoman run. Don't forget about the giveaway I am doing, where you could win the Ed Brubaker Catwoman Omnibus. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.